you have a hard time finding shoes that fit? I know that I do. I have a very difficult time finding shoes that fit my feet well. And did you know that whenever you wear shoes, it is very important to find shoes that support your feet so it doesn't cause any kind of injury, not just to your feet, but to your joints like your knees and your hips and your back. And that is why I am so happy to share with you the sponsor of today's video, Fitville. So I had some new Fitville shoes here that I wanted to share with you, and these are called the Women's Cloud Wanderer V8. And I wear a 6.5, and this is the shoe. And you can see that it's very well made. It's lightweight, but you have all of the cushion. You have all this cushion to help support your feet. And they are known for the wide width that they have. So your toe box here has plenty of room for your toes to move around and they're not all squished up. And then it also offers support for your foot. That way, whenever you're like exercising, such as walking or running or just doing everyday activities, this shoe supports your feet and it protects your joints also. Fitville's slogan is Fitville, where wide feet belong. Fitville is a brand that specializes in shoes with wide toe boxes for people to walk and exercise comfortably without suffering from feet, toe, knee, ankle, and back pain. Fitville shoes come with a wide toe box, making it roomy and friendly for wide feet. If you have health conditions that affect your feet, such as venous problems, plantar fasciitis, bunions, even diabetics, then these shoes are perfect for you too. It offers great support with a springy cushion that minimizes impact and maximizes stability. You'll feel no pain when you move in Fitville shoes. These days people sit or stand for a long period of time, which might affect the nerves gradually before you notice the damage of unsupported shoes. Fitville is committed to help you keep your feet and joints healthy. Just click on the link at thefitville.com and also use the special code if you are new to Fitville, SLT32 for 32% off. And if you're an existing customer, SLT28 for 28% off. Hello everyone, welcome to Simply Living Tiny. My name is Brenda and I live in a tiny house with my little dog Buddy, and each and every week we share our adventures with you here on YouTube. And if you're new here, welcome, and if you've been following me on Simply Living Tiny, thank you so much for all your support. I appreciate you all so very much. And today is January 1st, 2026. I wonder how long it's going to take me to to remember to write 2026. Usually it takes a few weeks to get used to changing that whenever the year turns over. I hope that you all had a very good New Year's Eve. Did you do anything fun? Did you go out and celebrate with friends? Did you shoot off some fireworks or go watch fireworks somewhere? Here at the tiny house, I was in bed because I did work the 31st, and I was just really tired from work and just a long day. So I was in bed by 10 o'clock, so I slept through. I was sound asleep in my comfy bed as the New Year's rode in. And so whatever you did, I hope that you had a really good time, and I hope that you all have a very happy 2026, that it is filled with all of your favorite things. Many, many blessings to you all, and I hope that your year is a very good year, full of everything beautiful and wonderful. So I thought today what I would do is just give you a little health update. I've been prolonging this for quite a while. It's been a little bit difficult to talk about. And so I just thought if you're new here, I just give like a quick recap of what I've been going through, like the last part of 2025. The first part of the year, as far as my health goes, it was going really good. I got on, started really focusing on my health, started eating better, started exercising. I signed up for a program called a Vana program, which is where you're eating like low sugar and low carbs, almost cutting it out completely. Lost like 20 pounds, and I lost a little over 20, I think 23 pounds, and doing really good with that. And then sometime like around May or June, I got stung. So the story takes a dip around this time. So like around May or June, I got stung by a yellow jacket. I was working out in the yard, and I got stung, and I didn't have any kind of reaction. It just kind of, when you get stung, it hurts a little bit. And so I guess, it was more irritating than anything. It's never any fun getting stung. And so I just went about what I was doing, finished my task outside, and probably about 30 minutes after that, I started having neurological symptoms. I started feeling off balance, not really thinking clearly, and not really communicating very well. So I thought, I have a blood pressure machine. I thought that I would check my blood pressure, see if something's going on with my blood pressure. And I've been stung in the past by like a bee or a wasp, possibly a yellow jacket. Never had any kind of like major reaction from that. And so I got my blood pressure, I put it on my arm, and I just couldn't like follow through. Like I knew what to do to check my blood pressure, but I just couldn't follow through. So I made my way to my mom's, and she called 911 for an ambulance to come. And then by the time they got there, I started feeling better. Like I could feel like my heart was racing, like I was having palpitations. And so by the time they got there, my heart rate, my blood pressure was still elevated, but it was like slowly coming down. They did an EKG, it was normal. And so I decided, since I was improving and feeling better, that I wasn't going to go to the emergency room. I didn't see a reason, since I was doing better, and didn't really know what they would be able to do for me if I did go to the emergency room. So a few months after that happened, I felt fine. I didn't have any other like lingering effects. And so on September, on August the 30th, I was outside again, had on some gloves, long sleeve, trying to protect myself so I won't get stung. And a wasp stung me on my hand, and I believe it was my left hand. Yeah, a wasp stung me on my left hand through the glove. And when that happened, it just brought up what happened with the yellow jacket, and it threw me into a panic attack. And I did swell up pretty significant. I made a video about that if you want to go back and watch it. And so my hand, it did swell up really big. It even traveled all the way up to my elbow. And it took, several days for all that to resolve. But it threw me into a panic attack, because what happened with the yellow jacket, I thought was going to happen again with being stung by a wasp. And it just spiraled. And it threw me into a panic attack. And so I was able to like come down from the panic attack, but I kept having like this lingering anxiety. And I know that every day we all like deal with we all have anxiety, I'm sure, to some degree. But this was getting to where it was hard to manage with working, with my job. I do work from home, but I deal with situations at times that are very, very stressful, dealing with like unhappy people. Sometimes they're like really mean to you, they're yelling at you, and so that increases like your stress hormone, your cortisol goes up, the fight or flight kicks in. And so you got to be able to manage that in a healthy way whenever you're faced with situations like that. And so it was just getting very difficult to like try to manage that and to keep myself calm. Because whenever I have this anxiety, it's just like, I don't know if any of you deal with anxiety. This is all brand new. I know some people, they've been dealing with anxiety for years and years, and it's very debilitating. And it's just like an internal, well, for me, just describing it for myself. I'm not a doctor, I'm a nurse, but I'm not a doctor. Just describing like what I go through. It's like an internal, you know, how can you describe it? So for me, it's like an internal like nervousness. Like I feel like it's hard to concentrate. It's hard to focus. It's hard to collect your thought. Almost like a panic, like you kind of feel like you can't breathe. And I do have a pulse ox, so I'll put that on my finger and I'm like, okay, my O2 sats are good. My heart rate might be a little bit up, but you're breathing okay. Just try to talk yourself through that. And so what I did, because after having that full-blown panic attack, it was just like I came down a little bit, but I didn't ever come back down to like a normal feeling. I just had like this internal, I just had this like internal mess going on. And it was hard to like level that out. I tried and I couldn't do it on my own. So I made an appointment to see a new primary care doctor and explained all of this to the new primary care doctor. And so what he said was that, what he said was that I was, with my anxiety, I was like in hyper responsive mode, and felt it would be good to like put me on some medication to try to bring that back down to like a more level, healthy level response, and to not be in that hyperactive mode. And and I shared with my new doctor that I really felt broken, like something inside of me broke and I didn't know how to fix it. And I was having anxiety even in non-anxiety situations, just having that internal feeling just constantly all the time. And so he put me on a medication, and so I took it that day. See, that was on September the 22nd. And so I took it that day. He put me on 2 medications actually. And so I took it that day. And I felt pretty good. And then that night, whenever I got up to like go to bed, it was about 9:30 at night. I would say it had been like maybe 6 hours since I took the new medication. And so as soon as I was just kind of like lounging out on the couch, watching a little TV, and thought, well, I need to get up and get ready for bed. This was about 9:30. And so as soon as I stood up, it was just like immediately, as soon as I stood up, I started having that feeling like that nervousness. And so I tried to like calm down, talk myself through it. I wasn't feeling anxious at all prior to standing up to get ready to go to bed. And so I like pace the floor, try to focus on my breathing, try to calm myself down, but the symptoms kept getting worse and worse and worse to the point where I started having chest pain. I started having in my neck started feeling really stiff, my jaw started feeling really stiff. And so I went to my mom's, and she called 911. Took the ambulance forever to get to the house. Took them forever. And I really thought I was having a heart attack with the symptoms that I was having. I started shaking. It was hard for me to walk because my legs were shaking, my hands were shaking, and it was very scary. So I ended up, they came, did an EKG. It was normal, but they could see that my blood pressure and my heart rate was really high. And I guess because of all the adrenaline and having these symptoms, and then of course it being so scary, my mouth got super, super, super dry to the point to where I thought that like my tongue would stick to the roof of my mouth. And then that increased my anxiety. And so those were the symptoms that I was having. So I went to the emergency room. They did like blood tests. They checked my troponin. So what troponin is, it's a cardiac enzyme. And if you're having like some damage to your heart, say like a heart attack, then that enzyme is going to increase in your blood. And so it's a cardiac marker that they look at in a blood test to see like if it like continues to elevate. They usually do 3 troponin tests, and if it continues to elevate, then that's a sign that possibly you had a heart attack. Then you would need to do like further tests to investigate that. And my troponin was normal. My EKG was normal, but I was still having, my blood pressure was very elevated, and my heart rate was very elevated. And it would come like I would calm down, and then all of a sudden it was intermittent. I start having chest pain again. When that would happen, then my blood pressure and my heart rate would increase, and it was just like up and down, up and down. And so I was at the emergency room for several hours. They ended up discharging me with a very elevated blood pressure. They gave me blood pressure medicine and then sent me home. They didn't even wait until the blood pressure came back down to my systolic. An example, your blood pressure, it needs to be below 140/90. And my systolic, which is your top number, it was 179 when they discharged me, which is heart attack and stroke level for your blood pressure to be that high. And they just gave me a blood pressure medicine and sent me home. But it did. So I came home, and eventually that extra blood pressure medicine. And so I came home, and that blood pressure medicine, eventually I did calm down. So then I wasn't able to work like the rest of the week because I was just still having all this anxiety. And so what they thought, and my primary care doctor also felt like that the new medication that I took, even though it's for anxiety, that it did the opposite effect. It was supposed to lower my anxiety, but instead it increased it. And thinking that probably the symptoms like the chest pain, the stiff neck, the tight jaw, that all of that was related to like a panic attack due to that medication that I had taken. So needless to say, that medication was discontinued, and um, and then because he had prescribed me 2 medications, so one of them caused, thinking possibly that one of them caused the hyperactive response. So I stayed on the other one, but it just was not, it just got a tiny bit, would calm me down just a little, but still not enough to function well. And so I discontinued both of those medications, tried a new medication, and it worked very, very well. And so due to my family history, like my sister, she has heart problems. I have a nephew that was born with a lot of heart problems. My dad, he had several heart surgeries, and he even had a heart attack before. He ended up having a heart transplant. So due to like my family history of heart problems, my primary care doctor sent me to a cardiologist. So the cardiologist ordered, got my notes here. So on October the 1st, I went and saw a cardiologist. I've never been to a cardiologist before. So the cardiologist ordered an echocardiogram and a CT cardiac scoring test. And what that does, it checks like the cardiac scoring test. It's like a CT scan, but what it's doing is checking to see if you have like any plaque in your arteries, like the arteries in your heart. So the echo results were pretty good, but the CT scoring test, cardiac scoring test, those results were really bad. So whenever you have that test done, a good outcome for that test is that it gives you a score. And so that score, they want it to be 0. Well, my score was 489. So that was very concerning. So that with that test, they could tell that I do have plaque in the arteries in my heart, but it can't tell like what extent. Like, is it concentrated in one area? Is it scattered throughout the arteries? It was no way to tell with just that one test. So then he sent me, I had a choice to either do a stress test or do a cardiac CT test. So I chose to do a cardiac CT test because I was concerned with doing a stress test. They use nuclear medication for that. They intentionally, and the reason they do that is they want to put your heart under stress to see how your heart responds to the stress. And I was concerned that that would increase my anxiety and maybe not even could finish the test. I guess I didn't feel like that was a good choice for me. So I chose to do the cardiac CT and had that done. And so with the cardiac CT test, it did show, I wrote it here, oh, I was going to share with the echo. So the echo, it was pretty good. Those results were really good. It showed that I had just a tiny bit, it said a trace, so very little, of like regurgitation in my mitral valve and my tricuspid valve, a little bit of regurgitation and a little bit of calcification. So I asked my cardiologist about that, and he said, oh, that's normal for someone your age. And so, you're getting old when they start using terminology like, well, someone your age, that's normal. So, first time I had, so the first time I had a doctor to tell me that. So I guess I'm getting at that age where things are like age related. And so, and then my ejection fraction was 55. And so when I had the heart CT, that was on December the 17th, I had a heart CT. And so with that show was like my right coronary artery was 40 to 50% plaque in the artery, 40 to 50%. My left main coronary artery was less than 20%, and my left anterior artery, descending artery, was 50%. It's showing calcification, which is like plaque in the artery. But they also did another test. It's called a FFRCT. And so what that does is a fractional flow reserve test, and it's checking the blood flow in the arteries. And so even though it showed plaque in my arteries, it's not obstructing any blood flow. So that's good. And so what the doctor wanted me to do, let's back up a little bit. So November the 20th, my cardiologist, because I'm not commonly prescribed medication for cholesterol, because my cholesterol is almost always over 200. The commonly prescribed medication for cholesterol is statins, and I'm not able to take statin medication. I've tried. The doctor prescribed it for me many years ago. So whenever I take statins, it causes a lot of pain, like in my muscles, and then it also, because when you're on a statin, it can cause harm to your liver. So you need to have blood tests like every so many months. Usually when you first start it is 3 months after you start taking the medication. They want to check your liver. And so when I would take statins, it would increase my liver enzymes, which means it was harming my liver because the medication is metabolized through the liver. And so I can't take the medication. It does me more harm than it does good. And so the doctor had ordered an injectable medication that you take every 2 weeks. You just take it subcutaneous, which means it's not in the muscle, but it's like in the fatty part of your skin. And so I took that. I took 1 dose of that, and it increased my blood pressure and caused me to have like an anxiety attack, because increasing my blood pressure like that and my heart rate, and that happened within maybe like 3 hours of taking that medication. I had a reaction to it. And so I can't take that medication. So the next step, there is another medication my cardiologist wants me to try, and that is, and apparently it can be very expensive. Not really sure how much coverage is going to be with insurance, and they're in the process of looking at that now. And so with this new medication, I can't take it at home like the other one, the injectable medication. I could take it, give it myself. But this one, they call it like an infusion, but it's not an infusion, it's an injection. But the way that it's billed to insurance is billed as an infusion, and you have to go to the doctor's office and get the medication administered at a doctor's office. And it's a subcutaneous injection. So I don't really understand why they're classifying the medication differently compared to the other one, because it's given subcutaneously, but you don't take it as often. You'll get a dose, and all of this is to like lower my cholesterol. So you'll get a dose at the doctor's office, then you go back 3 months later, get another dose, and then it's every 6 months thereafter. And I did ask because nobody had checked my cholesterol, hadn't had it checked in a while. So you want your total cholesterol to be below 200, and mine is just barely over 200 with no medications to control my cholesterol. And so when I had it checked in December, it was 222. I had it checked December 22nd, and it was 222. So it's just barely over 200. And so this medication, because of the plaque that I have in my arteries, and I have no blood flow obstruction at this time, is that you want to, because having high cholesterol, it can cause a buildup of plaque in your arteries, which causes a whole lot of other problems. It obstructs your blood flow to your heart, which it can cause a heart attack, can cause a stroke. You don't want any of those things. It can cause you to have like heart stents or even bypass surgery. So just trying to find a way to control all of that, so it doesn't end up having something like a stent or bypass or anything like that. And so that is where that's where I'm at with my health journey. And you can do all the things. You can try to eat right and exercise. Not try, but do. Eat right and exercise and do all the things. But you have other things that go into play. You have, hereditary. You have other disorders, like I have hypothyroidism, and it can cause your cholesterol to be elevated whenever you have hypothyroidism. Hypothyroidism affects a whole lot of stuff, a whole lot of things. And your thyroid is a hormone, and it helps to regulate a lot of things in your body. And so mine is hypothyroidism, and even though I'm on medication for that, it still seems to be affecting a lot of other things in my body. Even though when I have my blood work done, they always say, well, your thyroid level is in normal level. It's normal with the medication, but it's still affecting all of these other things in my body, even though they're saying that it's at a normal level. So I don't know. So anyway, I just wanted to share all of that with y'all, and then give you a little update. If anything changes, I'll give you an update on that too. So right now, just waiting on seeing if that new medication is going to be approved through my insurance, and if it is or isn't, what my out-of-pocket's going to be, to see if I can afford it on my end, and we'll just have to go from there. So I wanted to just hop on here and give you a little update with what's going on with that. So I know today's video is a little bit different compared to what I normally do. I just wanted to give you a quick update on what all's been going on behind the scenes and some of the challenges that I've been facing. And so it's 2026, so hopefully this year it would be a much better year as far as the health stuff goes, and overall a good year for everything. And I hope that you all have a good 2026 too. What do you say, Buddy? Huh? Oh, Buddy, he went he went to the groomers this week. Say, don't I look pretty? Got my hair cut. Yeah. He does not like going to the groomers. It's very stressful. And if you're interested in Fitville shoes, I encourage you to check them out. I see my mom, she orders some for herself and for my brother, and they both really like the Fitville shoes. And if you click on the link in the description and you put in SLT32, you can get 32% off for any new For any new people, if you're new to Fitville, you get the 32% off. And if you've ordered from Fitville before, you can use the code SLT for Simply Living Tiny 28, SLT 28, and you can get 28% off of your purchase. And so I hope that you check them out. So yeah, so we hope you check them out, don't we? Yes, we do. And I hope that you all, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed. Double check and make sure you're still subscribed, because sometimes people get unsubscribed for some reason. Ring that bell so you don't miss the notification, and share it. Don't forget to hype too. Hype the video. Yeah, all the things help. And I hope that you go out and you make it a great day. God bless. You be safe, and we'll see you on the next one. Oh, do you still have your Christmas stuff up? I took my Christmas stuff down this past Sunday. So I went ahead and took my Christmas stuff down this past Sunday, a few days after Christmas. I know that there's like, I don't know, what's the superstition, the old wives' tale, that for good luck to keep it up after Christmas, or good luck to take it down before, take it for good luck to take it down before New Year's, or for good luck to take it down after New Year's. I can't remember which one is which. I'm not superstitious, so it was a day that I was off, and I got a lot going on coming up, so I just went ahead. It was a pretty day, and so I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and take down all the Christmas things. And so everything, it's always sad to put it away, isn't it, buddy? So we like the Christmas tree and all the lights. Yes, we do. We wish you a very blessed week, and we'll see you on the next one. Yes, we will. We'll see you on the next one.